Hey, everybody. Welcome to Love and Reload, the voice of the relocation industry. I am your host, Ben Cross, and I am so blessed and honored to be here with my good friend, Aaron Florez, CEO and founder of Southbound Relocation. Aaron, how are you doing today?
Doing well, my man. Doing well.
How are you? It's good to have you here, man. This is our first episode live from the Glomo Studios. What do you think?
Loving the digs. Loving the digs. I mean, it's a bit far north from downtown where I'm at, but I mean, I gotta get you a little bit. I mean, are we in Oklahoma or
yeah, we're like in Durant. Choctaw Casino's around the corner. Put in the comments if you know what I'm even talking about right now. Let us know what you think about the video quality, the audio quality. Is it looking good? Are we sounding good? Get in the comments. I want to know who you are.
You're looking good, my man.
You looking good, man.
Looking good.
Look at. We don't have to like do a show to like just get together and compliment one another. You know, we could like just like schedule something.
Okay.
Yeah, Aaron took me on an amazing barbecue quest today, as he is apt to do. For those of you who don't know Aaron Florez, Aaron is probably the best person to tour Dallas with. You are, in my opinion, the unofficial tour guide, like third in line to be the mayor if something bad happens. Like you are the one to see if you come to Dallas and need to have a good time. Hit that like button right now. Let us know you're on here with us right now. We're trying some new stuff here. I want to make sure everybody's on there. There we go. Get in the comments. Look at that. We got people here checking in on LinkedIn. This is fantastic.
Love it.
Look at this.
Thank you for having me on. Appreciate it.
I appreciate you, man. Ryan Thomas, video and audio is good. Both looking good. Both. That's hard to do. That's awesome. So everybody's digging. Oh, look at this. We got people digging it. Yeah, we're going to try to really step our game up. You know, we're prepping right now. This is a sneak peek for what I call season 4 of Love and Reload, which is going to be 2023. We are up in the ante here. We've got a new producer here. Shout out to Stacey Huff, our old producer. She was with us for almost 2 years, I think. Shout out to Janet Turner that came before her. But we've actually hired somebody now. Shout out to Adam Sotelo, our new producer behind the camera on the boards. And he's doing a great job.
Doing a great job.
And you're our first guest in our new studio.
My man.
Dude, it means a lot to have you here, man.
Oh, man, thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
You know, we're going to be talking about renters. We're going to be talking about what are we doing for the rental population. We're going to be talking about barbecue. We're going to be talking about as much relo as we have time for after we're done talking about barbecue.
Yeah, we'll squeeze in a little bit of relo.
We're going to be talking about Dallas Fort Worth as well. We actually just came from the NTRP, the North Texas Relocation Professionals, second strategic meeting here in December. So we're going to be talking a little bit about, you know, what does NTRP have going on for next year? What can you do if you're involved with a regional relocation council? And then also just like, why is Dallas dope? Why is Dallas at the middle of everything right now?
So much going on, my man. So much going on.
Yo, look at this. We got people checking in right here. Chris Roberts, Aaron is in the house.
Let's get it. Let's get it.
Look at this. This is great. Ray Padilla from Vegas. What up, Ray? Tyler Burns says, looks good. Appreciate you, Tyler. Sherry in the house. Hi from SF. Not to be confused with San Fran. Don't say it like that. Hosea Botley. Hello, Ben and Aaron. Audio is great. Thank you, Hosea.
Nice.
Brian Deegan. So the two of you didn't have salads for lunch. Brian was with us this morning. And he heard us talking about lunch. And I was like filling up on kolaches, if you know what kolaches are, and kolaches and cashews.
And then ended up with a pound and a quarter rib.
So I was like, I think I need a salad or something light today for lunch, which everybody who knows me knows is a bald-faced lie. And then Aaron drags me to one of the best barbecue joints in Dallas. Aaron, for the people, for the culture, what was the barbecue joint you took me to today?
Terry Black's in Deep Ellum.
Terry Black's in Deep Ellum.
It's no joke, my man.
What did you tell? I promise this is not going to be all barbecue and reload today, but tell the people, hit that like button if you dig barbecue. Let us know what your favorite barbecue place is anywhere in the country. Bonus points if it's in Dallas, but anywhere in the country. Put it in the comments right now. Your favorite barbecue place and what do you have to order if you go there? Put it in the comments for everybody out there.
Let's go. Aaron,
what did you have today?
So I gauge all my barbecue joints based on the brisket. Number one,
yes.
Every single
Why
day.
is that?
It's you have to have a baseline.
Yes.
So I use the brisket as a baseline. The brisket at Terry Black's. They're out of Austin, but they put a shop right in the back door of Pecan Lodge. Bold, super bold.
Yeah, right in the backyard of Pecan Lodge. Saying what at me?
Saying moist brisket. That's what they're saying. Moist brisket.
And for people that don't know what moist means out there, there's lean and there's moist. What's the difference between lean and moist?
I mean, it's number one. You got to go with the moist because that's the fatty brisket.
It's the fat content.
I mean,
yeah,
that's what you want to go.
Like you don't go to brisket and be like, I'm on a diet.
I want the lean.
I want the lean.
I want the lean.
Try to cut
Lean's
back.
no good. Lean's no good.
If
you're gonna do it right.
Cut back like yesterday. Cut back tomorrow. But don't cut back.
So we had a little sausage, a little brisket, and then you went big time.
I saw. So I believe
was
that
it a dinosaur?
The holy trinity of Texas barbecue is ribs, sausage, and brisket. Okay, in no particular order. I do believe brisket is probably the penultimate, right? And it's kind of like David Portnoy's, slices, right? He gets the cheese slice, and that's what it's all to be judged by. Shout out to Dave Bensavengo for that knowledge. But they had at Terry Black's today a beef rib. Who knows what a beef rib is? A beef rib looks like one of those like Fred Flintstone brontosaurus ribs from like Flintstones. Beef rib is like, it's like as thick as my arm. Matter of fact, Adam, do we have a picture of the bone? A picture of that? Go check. I think we got a picture of the bone of that beef rib.
Do we have a picture of you biting the bone?
We have a picture of me biting a bone here. Let's see if we can pull that up. In fact, you know what? I might even have it here. Let's see here. Do we have this thing, this beef rib here? Let's put this thing up here. Here. There's the bone. Can y'all see this bone right here? Look at this bone I was snacking on here. You see that? That thing, and you see my thumb? I'm not a small man. You see that thumb right there? That's basically, that thumb is the size of a baby's wrist. Okay? And then you see that rib curving off there? It's like a tomahawk, if you will.
Yeah.
So it was one rib. That rib was $44. That was single rib. And it weighed 1.27 pounds.
Yes, it did.
I know y'all didn't tune in.
You got at it.
Y'all didn't tune in for this today. I'm sorry, but that's what we had for lunch. And I'm honestly impressed with myself that I'm still here.
You did well. You did well.
Thank you. I took a to-go box, which I never take a to-go box for 3 reasons. And we don't have time to enumerate those 3 reasons and why those are. But I just want to say I appreciate all y'all for being here. Christina's here. Look at that. Shout out from Christina. Brian Deegan says, I won the bet. That's funny. That's funny. I'd love to bet with Brian Deegan. That's great. Danny Herskowitz, new studio setup looks amazing. You guys sound incredible. Danny, I can't wait till you're here next week. Hey, so we just got the Gloma office yesterday. You were literally like our first guest here. What do you think about next week when my team's going to be here? What do you think about like Wednesday having like a bunch of people here for like a reception or something? Should we have like a party?
I think 100% you should do that.
Yo, 100%. Do you think we should have a party? If you're watching this right now, should we have a party, Dallas, Wednesday, next Wednesday, 4 to 6?
I think you should do that.
You think it'll be bumping?
A little happy hour.
A little something?
Yeah, I can help with some beats.
You bring the beats?
I'll bring the beats.
What would we listen to at the Glomo meetup? We got 29 people watching this. I'm shocked and appalled, frankly, that y'all don't have something better to do. Your bosses right now would be very ashamed of you if they knew that you were watching this drivel right now.
What do you want to hear?
Journey, no, we're not putting it on right now.
You want to hear Journey? Or
maybe some Roots or something.
I mean, Roots. Now you're talking about language.
Look at this. We got Scott Williamson. Scott, are you coming next Wednesday? Aaron is the mayor of Dallas Renters. We're going to talk about renters, I promise, in just 2 seconds. We want to get some shout outs here, pay the bills. Which is kind of funny because we don't actually have sponsors. Ryan Clevenger, Aaron, my man, first guest, crushing it. Brian Deegan won a bet. Tim Quirk says Sammy's. Where's Sammy's, Tim?
Sammy's?
Vinny, hope all is well. What's up, Vinny? Bob, Sean Ireland, beef ribs will change your life. Looking good, guys. Oh, Sean, this morning.
I've taken Sean out on a little escapade to eat.
Took
him to Ruins. Showed him some.
What's Ruins? You were talking about Ruins earlier.
So Ruins is also in Deep Ellum. So it's known as a mezcal joint, but it's also a venue. However, everybody sleeps on the Mexican food there, but the Mexican food is absolutely delicious.
So it's a venue?
It's a small venue, but it's also a mezcal joint.
When you say venue, you mean like a club?
Yeah, like they have concerts.
What? And they serve dope Mexican food?
And the Mexican food is unreal. I love it.
All right. Yo, should we just cut this short right now? Just go eat something. All right. Hey, we got people tuning in. Look, people are tuning in from England right now, wanting to know
about barbecue.
No, they want to know what the topic is today. They're like, are y'all gonna get to something right now? Dano McCoy, kudos. Just left the GWERC studio. Looks great. Thank you, Dano. Look at Sherry. Terry Black's in Austin. Love the beef brisket. Vinny stopping by to say a quick hi. I have to go back to cooking and prepping, get ready for the Valverde's party. Vinny is the PRC, Portland Relocation Council, Christmas party coming up, the ugly sweater party. Vinny?
Oh,
Vinny every year throws
Does
the
he?
most banging house party, the Valverde pre-holiday party.
So let's roll.
Last year,
Let's crash it.
I'm hanging out in Vinny's kitchen. I know I'm probably not supposed to talk about what happens at the Valverde party. I'm hanging out in Vinny's kitchen last year. I'm like waiting for the bathroom, talking to Lynn Shotwell and Andrew Walker from EY. It's like a who's who in Vinny's kitchen.
I'm down. Let's go crash it.
I mean,
Can I go? Am I
I'm
invited?
down.
Am I invited?
I'm down.
I mean, I'll go.
Look at
I'll
this.
bring a beef.
We got Edinburgh in the house. This is great. I was in Scotland last week, by the way. This is great. We got Rhiannon talking about the new office. Yes, come to the new office. That's gonna be great. Can't wait to have you, Rhiannon. Vinny, yes. The brisket. He's making the brisket. Vinny, post brisket picks. Brisket picks or didn't. No, brisket is different. Brisket picks or didn't happen.
It's just a little bit different.
We're doing different. All right, let's get into it, man. We're talking
All right,
about renters, man. Nobody cares about renters. True or false?
Not more than me.
Not more than you.
No, 100%.
Is it true that renters are a second-class citizenry in relocation? Does everybody just care about home sale?
I mean, from my experience, I feel like over the past couple of years that I've been in relo, the renter has been a little bit shortchanged.
A little bit, a lot of it.
A lot of it.
I mean, think about this. I mean,
redheaded stepchild.
Well, I mean, nothing against redheads or stepchildren. I was one. I mean, you really offending everybody at this point. No, I'm just kidding. You good, man. No, but I, when the relocation industry was started, it was started by real estate companies and move management firms who are auditing household goods invoices. Mm-hmm. So the whole business of domestic relocation has been built around the home sale, home purchase, fee structure.
Okay.
And I think that's why they've always gotten so much love, and it's always about how many home sales does the program have. But let's be honest, right? Most relocations probably nowadays are renters. Would you say that's accurate?
I mean, it's definitely accurate. All from the different companies that I've spoken to, whether it's mobility directors or just industry leaders, what I'm finding and what I'm seeing is just. And even on the ground level, I still take care of transferees. My agents, we deal with transferees, renters on a daily basis. Everything that I'm seeing, it's 60-70% renters.
Yeah, we should put that out as an audience question. Hey, if you're watching right now, what percentage of relocation personnel, domestic U.S.?
Yes.
Do you handle international folks as well?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so what percentage? I mean, because I bet that percentage is even higher. What percentage of domestic U.S. relocations are renters, would you say? Put that in the chat. I'd love to know what you think about that. If you have a global number, if you want to guess on a global number too, put that in there. What percentage of relocations are renters? So you're saying 60-70%.
Easy.
Yeah.
Just from what I've heard.
Yeah. I mean, especially,
absolutely.
I mean, if you want to start looking at do you also take care of interns? Or not the short-term stuff?
Not short-term. I'll leave that up to the corporate housing guys.
So what's a typical transferee like that you work with?
Typical transferee for me is going to be a long-term, unfurnished, and what I think the industry is shifting towards where people are used to the renter being an intern or entry-level position, and I relocate anywhere from entry-level all the way up to C-suite. I did a tour just yesterday for a C-suite that's relocating from Florida, and we looked at high rises all day. And so looking at a professional service to take care of the renter, I think that needs to be elevated in our industry, period.
100%. And I think that there's this misconception, or maybe it's not maybe it's the right perception, that renters are kind of low value, junior employees,
right?
Or not, maybe not sophisticated, maybe they don't have big budgets. I mean, what are you seeing is what's the makeup of the folks you're seeing?
I mean, yesterday we were looking at 2-bedroom, 2 baths in uptown Dallas, and
Uptown's a very desirable neighborhood.
Desirable, right in the middle of Dallas proper. And every unit we looked at was $5,500 to $7,500
a month.
Correct.
Unfurnished.
Now that's
tall cotton, man.
That's tall cotton. But I handle, we handle renters all the way down, all the way down to entry level. So
that must be a nice place. I need some pictures. Was that nice?
It's super nice. We might celebrate after we do that.
Yeah,
but at the end of the day, I think that's what the misconception is the illusion of how easy it is to find an apartment. I think that's an illusion both on the transferee side and on, you know, the RMC side or the corporate side, where you know, a lot of individuals may think, you know, hey, they're a renter, hey, they can go to apartments.com, they can go to their
Yeah,
website.
I mean, that's what I would think, honestly. I would think, like, all
that's-
right, bet I'm gonna go on apartments.com. Why can't I just go on apartments.com on my phone, you know, and find the next 2-bedroom I'm gonna live in?
That's a problem that we see all the time, and that's a lot of times where we see a transferee calling us after they've tried to attempt to find an apartment. Unfortunately, a lot of the websites are a little bait and switch.
Oh yeah.
So
not on the internet.
Hey, do you want to live? Hey, do you want to live in Uptown, 2-bedroom, 2-bath on the 25th floor? You know, $17.99. Yeah, it's ready to go.
People are biting on that all day long.
Biting it all day long. But it's not just that. There's a lot of questions that need to be answered for individuals that are relocating. That apartments.com or website just do not have that particular information. But you know, on top of that, you know, the two biggest things for somebody that's relocating is a start date and a move date or a move time period. And when you can't answer those questions, that individual is stuck making a ton of phone calls. They may or may not be able to fly into town. So a lot of our clients don't come into town to tour. So we're doing a lot of phone calls. We're doing a lot of video, FaceTime, but getting those answers for the transferees takes a lot of time. And I would challenge anybody to call a couple of Class A apartments and see when they call you back. Might be a couple days.
Yeah, or more.
You know?
And, you know, it's so interesting. It's fascinating to hear that you're having the same issues in the apartment rental space that I've been seeing for years in the moving space, where transferees are trying to self-service. They're going online, and bait and switch is real. You Google it, you get some ad, you know, with some unreasonably like crazy expectation set. You call, you end up in the hands of some unscrupulous person or nobody at all, right? And then you're like left to fend for yourself.
Exactly.
I did not know that was happening on the rental side. I heard about it on real estate as well, you know, with bait and switch and stuff there, where people are taking listings and kind of making these shadow listings or ghost listings or things like that. I did not know it was happening on the rental side. We've got people checking in right now.
What kind of numbers are we seeing?
I want to know what you think. We got questions coming in. Hit us with your questions. Anthony, I see you. Jake, Hosea, Christina, Ray, I see your question. Bring those questions. I want to hear what you think. First, we got Anthony coming in with a comment. Renters have no money and time to over themselves here in the UK. Buyer and sellers have a key exchange, hence getting a removals company who can take the whole volume. Renters have no money and time. Interesting. Let me know what exactly you mean by that, Anthony. I want to hear about that. Mary says, I take care of the renters like buyers. I believe renters become buyers.
Yes, they do.
Have you seen that?
Yes, sir. We have some partners.
You're smiling like,
we have partners that we work with. We have innovative ways to generate alternate revenue for RMCs that we work with. You know, but at the end of the day, it's all about my philosophy is at the end of the day is taking care of the transferee, elevating the experience for the employee and for the corporation that's either hiring somebody, relocating somebody to an area. At the end of the day, I mean, that's where my heart comes in, and why I got into Relo is because the renter deserves the same. The renter deserves the same service as you would if you got the red carpet rolled out if you're a home buyer.
The problem is with that though, and especially in that frothy housing market we saw, where if we're using realtor talent, right? It's like if I'm going to make a 3% commission on the sale of a home or purchase of a home that's $500,000, that's 15 grand, or $1 million, that's 30 grand, right? And I'm going to turn around, I'm going to help somebody find an apartment, and I'm going to make just a small fraction of that. It's hard to find the right talent to give that high level of service to that executive renter, right?
But no, it's
how do you handle that?
No, it's a great point. In Texas, traditionally we've been able to receive real estate commissions from properties and property management companies for our services. However, I think things are changing and elevating that service for renters. That's kind of the drum that I've been beating. I think there's different ways to look at renter policies, maybe some different, you know, if you go back to, you know, how much a company uses for recruiting talent. Everything that goes into recruiting talent.
Don't get in my pocket now, man.
I'm just saying.
My pocket.
But everything that goes into it, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, it is a lot of money.
But why would you take it all the way down to the finish line
and then not get it across the finish line?
And then give your employee 15, 20 days to find a place to live.
Right.
And $5,000.
Are they also I mean, are the best programs like subsidizing that rental search just like they would a home search?
I think there's a lot of education that needs to come out for changing some of those policies to handle that renter, to take care of that renter, because the pie can only get sliced enough for what's been traditionally offered for a renter. Yeah. So I feel like why not look at elevating that renter service or renter policy to handle that?
Yeah,
and hire a professional that knows how to do that.
You could argue that home search is every bit as complex as renter. Like renter search is every bit as complex, especially in a crazy frenzied market. And I feel like that market's becoming more frenzied even right now when you look at interest rates or where they're at, which is discouraging people from buying a home, people on the sidelines. So what are they doing? They're renting, right?
They're renting, but then you also look at the lack of multifamily needed in the U.S.
Yes,
there's 4.3 million multifamily units over the next 10, 15 years that need to be built in order to accommodate the population growth or population.
And the irony is the same people that need to build those are the ones that are currently profiting off the better margins that they're getting off the scarcity, right? So it's like, do I go out and build something and take that risk and I can deploy that capital, especially with interest rates being where they are now, because they're taking money from the same pool that we're all taking money from, right? When we build a home ourselves. Yeah. So I think that you're going to see that like that kind of slow for a while, the building of new apartment units, as we're looking at like how much the price of capital is right now.
I would argue that depending on the market, in DFW, you're not going to see a slowdown.
You're not going to see a slowdown.
No, absolutely not.
All right, let's so we got people here putting numbers in. Anthony Walmsley saying 9% renters in the UK. Anthony, that's crazy to me. 9%. I don't buy that, man. Everybody owns a house in the UK. I don't know, man. That seems wild. Jake Lowry saying 75%. Jake Lowry gonna be all right. And then Jose Botley 70%. Yeah, I sense 70%. That. Christina says I'm gonna guess 70%, but we don't even have the numbers because renters are grossly underserved. They're like not even on the radar.
That's the problem.
They don't even count sometimes. That's the problem. Like they don't even get a real reload package.
So my question goes back to
sometimes
what are we telling our corporations on how they value their employees? Like that's the education that goes into what do you want as your company from 5, 10, 15 years from now? If 70% of your employees are renting, do you want to take care of these employees?
Right. Are they important?
Are they important?
Why'd you hire them if they're not? Charles Beatty says 50% renters. Yeah, interesting. And it's also interesting to see because like Charles Beatty, his company Acme, right? They're shipping cars, right? So Charles, I mean, like I'm just going to use you for a second. Like, is the population he's seeing like the ones who have policies that cover car shipping, right? Are they of a certain level? You know, I don't know if it skews. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like if we went to a lump sum only company. And we said, hey, lump sum only company, what percentage of your population is renters? They might say like 90%, right?
All day.
So I think it's also interesting, like we only know what we know and what we only can see what we see, you know?
And it's nice to see some, some other companies out there trying to change some of those lump sum policies into, a flex or some kind of program where, there's allocated rental dollars that go directly to a professional to handle that service. I feel like that's a good role to go. That could help out that renter as opposed to, I made a post. I'm not sure if you saw it, but I had a nice post on LinkedIn with a baby with a computer and a mound of money. And I asked the question, do you think he's going to make good decisions? And the answer is no. And is that lump sum going to make good decisions?
I mean, listen, probably you're going to get me in trouble because I spent the first year of this show ragging on lump sum programs.
Hey, you and me went at it.
I mean, don't get me back there. I mean, but yeah, I know somebody's like, our transferees are smart. They're engineers. They're sophisticated professionals. Yeah. I'm like, they're human beings.
They're human beings. Do
you know what? Human beings don't make good decisions.
It's very similar to when I was 19.
Show me one kid that eats his Brussels sprouts next. It's like a bowl of ice cream, Brussels sprouts sitting there on the table. Yeah, and you're like, same time. You don't put the ice cream out with the Brussels sprouts.
Give us $300 and leave us at a barbecue joint. Are we going to make good decisions?
No, we made bad decisions. we went in there with every intention of getting the salad, Brian. Okay, and what did we get? We got a $44 beef rib, okay, of which I ate only half.
2 sausage links,
2 sausage links, 2
brisket,
pork ribs,
mac
a
and
slice
cheese,
of brisket, potato salad,
white bread,
coleslaw.
Hey,
we're missing a side. Green beans.
Hey, we did well.
Green beans. You did order green beans. Shout to you.
I had like 3 of them.
Mary saying we see very similar challenges as Aaron for renters in West Michigan. Yeah, 100%. Hey, if you've got questions or comments about renters, whether it be from a real estate standpoint, from an RMC standpoint, from a household goods standpoint, please put them in there. Tyler Burns is saying, preach. Tyler, at the end, we're going to do an altar call, but first we're going to pass the plate. Let's see here. Ray Padilla. Ray's got a question. I made Ray wait this whole time. Ray, my bad. Ray, my bad. Thank you for waiting. Hit that like button. Throw your questions in here. I appreciate all y'all for showing up at the new Glomo.
Thank you so
offices
much.
Here. Ray Padilla. Ray, it's so cool to have you commenting. Do you have any insight on healthcare relocation? Doctors, graduating residents. I see a lot of veterinary relocation going on right now. Traveling nurses. I mean, do you have insight in there? Is that part of your client base?
Some of my client base, we do a lot of, we do some UT Southwestern relocation.
Some big hospital in there.
Some relocation for them. A lot of graduating residents that are getting their first jobs coming into Dallas. I placed a couple of doctors a couple of months ago, and
where are these doctors living, man?
They were graduating residency, so all over.
Were they broke or were they paid yet? No,
there was a first job, so they were getting paid.
So they're still deep in the student loans.
Yeah, but we still got them.
Isn't it crazy? You go from being like $400,000 in debt to being like $400,000 a year, like the feast and famine mentality.
But nonetheless, they have no idea what they're doing.
Yeah,
they need help.
They only went to like 8 years of college. They have no idea.
Yeah, no idea.
Isn't that crazy? I mean, that's crazy. You can be a bright engineer. You can go to 8 years of university, whatever, but you don't know how to relocate yourself.
And it just goes back to the misconception of you really feel like you can go online and find an apartment just like that. And when you run into those problems, you get down to the wire, and then you end up in a place that you don't want to live, or a neighborhood that you don't want to be in, and you're not happy. And guess what? You're coming to work unhappy, and you may or may not stay. It's the same conversations we have for homeowners when we make that extra effort to put them in the right home.
Yeah,
it's the same concept, but it just hasn't been done correctly.
All right, I want to break this down. And Mary, you got a great question. We got Brian and Charles coming in. All right, question. So when you talk about going to the wrong place, like you're in the wrong neighborhood, right?
Right.
Like, what like single transferees and families who are renting, like what they looking for? Is it different? Like, how does that change how you consult them on where to live?
It changed dramatically. It changes per transferee that we talk to be honest with you. I mean, it changes from a single transferee between another single transferee. I mean, for a family, obviously, if they're
I relocated from Detroit. You know, executive, married, 2 small children,
starting a new company.
Well, okay, fine. No, you know what? No, that's a great question.
We did good.
That's a great question. No, but where are you putting me? Where are you advising me? Like, what are you showing me out here? Like, I'm probably not living in uptown.
No. We're probably going to end up in the burbs.
Yeah,
which is fine. It's not my personal preference, but it's not where I'm living. It's up to you, and where's going to be the best fit for you.
Because I'm looking at like school district. I mean, even though I'm renting, I'm still looking at school districts. I'm looking at like parks in the area.
Right.
I'm looking at like, is there like a community pool? You got to have a pool. You have to have access.
So my question is, are you happy where you live?
I'm very happy where I live.
Who put you there?
You know, honestly, okay, full disclosure here, and this is not why he's on the show, but Aaron was the first call when I knew I was moving to Dallas and I knew I had to rent, because when you start a company, I didn't know this. When you start a company, you can't buy a house for 2 years.
Not only that, it's still hard to prove income going into a rent house, and we still made it happen.
Yeah, like it's crazy. Like, that's a show for another day. But that's actually we made it happen. Mortgage people on. I'm gonna beat them over the head with that one. But yeah, and it was in the middle of probably one of the frothiest markets ever. And you put one of your realtors on it, you know, and he was great, despite the fact he's over here servicing his homeowner customers who are putting in home offers amongst 40 other offers for these houses in the middle of the summer. He found time to go show us rental houses. We probably toured like 6 of them. Fortunately, budget wasn't that big of an issue, so I was able to like, you
Mhm.
know, spend some money. I got a sweet place. I got a 9 out of 10 school district. You know, I had the park with the pool. Like it was legit.
The house
It
is
was nice.
gorgeous. Yeah.
It was nice. Yeah. So it worked out really well for us. I came down once to do a tour. Like, so I came down for like a week, did a tour, knocked out a bunch of places, put in a whole bunch of applications.
I mean, that's another topic that I think should be raised is you know, a lot of the older rental policies or terms talk about half day tours, full day tours. Well, I would say 80% of my
Mhm.
clients don't even come to town anymore.
Mm.
You know, it's not that we're not spending time with that client. There's still a ton of emails, a ton of pictures being sent, a ton of videos. There's still a lot of work and a lot of phone calls. Like I said, of these properties, especially these Class A luxury or any apartment community, they'll take their time in calling back because they're all 98% lease, or
Yeah.
some of them are, you
Yeah.
know, depending on where you're looking.
They're very high occupancy.
Nonetheless, it takes a lot of time to get things done. And so, you know, again, going back to kind of alternating policies or looking at ways to take care of a professional service like Southbound Relocation to handle these renters, it's needed. It's very much needed.
Yeah. Now this is interesting. So Roy goes on. Oh, I'm sorry, Roy. Man, I messed up. I think I said Ray before. My bad, Roy. I apologize. Roy Padilla goes on to say these healthcare professionals go from making $60K a year to $350K overnight once they get their first contract. They want to buy a home immediately, so they go from renting
That's
to
not
then
true.
they
That's
want to
not
buy.
That's not true.
It's not true.
No, I've relocated several doctors that I mean, he's right about going from
No, I think
X,
he's saying
X
that
to
they
Y.
go on contract, like they go places to like bang, get a job. And so
No.
if they're starting as residents, they're gonna be in six, like
They're not starting as
60K.
I think what he's saying is after graduating residency, they get their first job and they get that first good paycheck.
Yeah.
But even the
Right.
doctors that I've relocated recently, some that have relocated chose to rent in an urban setting because that's where they wanted to live.
I feel like if you're single too, like there's like a very vibrant single life thing going in uptown, you know, Dallas. And I've talked to people I know that are single professionals who have lived out in the suburbs, and maybe they're younger and still single, or maybe they're divorced or whatever. And like, so they're out in the suburbs and they find it very hard to meet people in the suburbs. Whereas downtown Dallas and like uptown and whatever
they
is
they
very,
get to hang out with me.
they get to hang out with Aaron.
And,
Which
and
might dissuade you. It depends on what you're.
And I hang out with my transferees all the time. I'm like, if you need a place to go, let's go hang out.
I feel like that might be like a GDPR violation or PII.
We're everybody's first friend.
Now I know where you live, and he just like drop by on a Friday, like, "Yo, sup?" Like, you know.
I didn't say all that.
All right, so
I
I'm
didn't
just,
say all
I'm just
that.
messing
Take
with you.
it easy.
Take
okay?
it easy.
Take it easy. Take it easy.
Brian says you guys are on fire. Renters need a better experience. I'm just kidding. Look at this. We got a question here, legit question here. I have to specify legit questions because most of the stuff we get on here is about barbecue. Mary, Aaron, how are you helping the transferees with bruised credit or those with multiple pets or restricted pet breeds? Like two different questions almost. Like, how do you start with the credit thing first? Because that was one of my issues.
Well,
I had excellent credit, but I couldn't buy a house because I didn't have the two years tax returns. But what about people with like bruised credit?
So, I mean, I can pretty much sum it up into both. Whether it's a credit, the dog, or the breed, your choices just ultimately get very, very, very limited. There's not very many properties out there.
What is a credit score that you need, like kind of a minimum to say, okay, I have the field available to me. Like I have the whole field available to me with this credit score.
I would say it's probably more important is not having any bankruptcies and not any broken leases. If your rental history is legit, I'm going to have a better chance of getting you somewhere that you're going to be happy with. I would say along those same lines, you may or may not get into the property class that you want. So
what does that mean, like class?
Like a Class A luxury property, or maybe it's a B property that's been renovated. You know, there's a lot of properties here because, you know, in Dallas Fort Worth, there's over 5,000 apartment communities, not units, communities.
Wow.
So there's a lot of properties that are 10, 15, 20, even 30 years old that have been renovated. They look super nice. So it's still classified as a B property, but you look inside and it's got wood flooring. They put granite countertops. They renovated it. You know, the neighborhood's kind of been redone. So there's still a lot of properties that we can help them with, but they just need to understand it's all about education and letting them know what the expectation is. This is what's going to happen.
So what's a credit score where you get that credit score? You're like, ooh.
I mean, if they're in the fives, I mean, it's going to be tough. But
So
again,
what do you do? Somebody comes to you in the fives. Mary's over here thinking about you. I could tell Mary she's engaged. She's like, yeah, I got Western Michigan solved. But yo, when I send people to Dallas, I'm going to call you, Aaron.
All over
Texas. But she's like, yo, I got these 570s coming at you hot.
Coming at me
hot. What are you going to do with a 570 knocks on your door?
I'm going to be on the phone for a long time.
I mean, I know this isn't like your ideal customer, but like,
well, you know, my industry, you know, that's another thing that you need a professional for. My industry changes by the minute. So there could be a property that I recommend you for the same situation. And next week, that property could have been bought, brand new ownership, new property management, and completely different application rules. So I still, no matter what, I'm still going to have to call that property to make sure.
But you would know that because you're in the market, or you don't know all 5,000 of them like that.
I cannot keep up with 5,000 properties in all of Texas and Nashville. I can't do it all. We're going exponentially.
I want to talk to you about your growth, but before we leave Dallas here. We're going to stay here and talk to Charles Beatty real quick. He said, we see the cars going to apartments or corporate housing addresses, but do not see the long-term plans. Yeah, right. So they're shipping the cars. Sometimes they end up at the corporate apartments. You may not even know if they're corporate apartments or if they're unfurnished long-term apartments. But Charles is saying 50% of those look like they're going to rental communities. That's probably pretty good data too.
What else were you saying? We've seen a lot of 70%ers. I saw 2 or 3 in there.
Yeah. I mean, from before we saw some 70%. Like
that just kind of goes to show what's going on.
Hosea does a lot of international global relocations too. He's an international household goods forwarder as well as a domestic small shipment forwarder. So Hosea is also, I would say, his population would skew renter because he's doing domestic small shipments and international, which, you know, I think tend to be more renters. But yeah, it's interesting. We got before we get out here, and I want to hear about the plans for Southbound Relocation. It sounds like you're going northbound. I want to highlight something real quick here if I can learn how to use my mouse again. I'm just getting reacquainted here. We got a comment from Brian about Jimmy's. You know Jimmy's downtown? Me and the girls went to Jimmy's.
I know you're talking about Jimmy's, like Italian.
Jimmy's food? Italian for sandwiches.
That's no joke. You've been there, right?
Yeah, I've been to Jimmy's multiple times.
Been to Jimmy's.
It was eye opening, honestly. When I went to Jimmy's for the first time, I was like, "Yo, y'all got this here?"
Yeah, it's
like a pork. It's like a pork. What we used to call a pork store in New York. It's like a pork store where you can go in there.
I was just about to say it's like being in the Northeast.
Yeah, you go in there. They got the fresh slice, mortadella. You got the prosciutto. You know, I'll tell you what, man. The mortadella there. Like, I don't know. I've never been like a mortadella guy. I always thought it was like a weird bologna kind of thing. The mortadella there is like, mwah. You know what I mean? The mortadella there is like, oh, marona me. You know. And then you can go in there.
Wait. Forget about it.
Forget about it. You can go get a fresh stuffed cannoli there. You know, the cannoli. You know, the gabagol there, which is capicola for those of you at home. Yeah, I highly recommend you go there and get hooked up. Brian, great call on that. Get a little pesto, get some fresh ricotta there, a little ricotta. But I will say this about that. I actually might prefer Italy. I might prefer Italy. Now, you don't got like the like little old Italian man like talking to you and stuff like that and whatever. But like from like a prepared foods, like you're going to go buy something, go home and pretend you cooked it. I think Italy might be even like,
but I love to cook, so I'm going to go there and get all my ingredients at Jimmy's, and it's close. It's close to my house, so I mean, it's good. It's that downtown living, that urban living,
that good downtown living
that I like to talk about.
Drive downtown on 75, get there in 35 minutes.
Yeah, you have fun with that.
Still send my kids to a decent school.
That's part of what we do. Tour from our transferees.
We moved to Allen, 9 out of 10 schools, whatever, great school district, yada yada. My wife ends up putting our kids in private school. I'm like, why am I paying that extra $1,000 a month in rent? And I could have been in a class B. Why am I over here in a class A? I could have been somebody. I could have been somebody. Could have been a contender.
Could have been a contender.
Oh my gosh! All right, so Southbound Relocation is the name of your company.
Yes.
Where do you service? Where are you helping people?
So we started out doing all 4 major cities of Texas.
Okay.
So Dallas. And when I say Dallas, I mean Dallas, Fort Worth, the entire metro area.
Right,
so all the way up to Frisco, all the way south to
DeSoto,
Midlothians.
Midlothian.
I mean, even the 35 corridor going southbound. Like that.
So I hear
You like that? You like that?
We'll see how it scales.
Austin, San Antonio, Houston. But going into the new year, we're going to service some new
markets. I saw an email or saw a blast come out.
We're going to do some new markets in Texas. I have a partner that we're going to be rolling out Nashville, and then the plans for southbound is going northbound.
Northbound.
Yeah, we're going to go. I'm going national. I mean, that's the plan.
For a loop.
Yeah.
National bound.
Taking care of renters.
So Nashville, and then you got a couple other markets lined up. You want to tease people with a couple markets?
That's the only ones I'm going to tease right now. But a lot more markets in Texas to start off with. But I think the main push for Southbound Relocation and what we stand for and what we're looking for, we love to take care of the renter, take care of the employee, elevate that service, and just look for other ways or innovative ways to use a professional like myself to take care of those renters.
What advice?
That's what we care about.
Yeah. What advice would you give to someone that manages relocation programs for renters? Like, what are like best practices? Could you give me like 3 tips, like tangible takeaways that people that might, whether they were at an RMC managing it or internal, HR mobility folks, what 3 things would you say, hey, these are some keys right here to managing renter populations?
I think number one, just maybe asking the questions that your corporate client has for their renters. Like what size of their renters? Like where are they seeing most of their renters? Is it mid-level? Is it all the way up the tier up until C-suite? Like what kind of service? I guess at the end of the day is what kind of service do you want to offer your renters, or what kind of where are you going with the employees that are relocating that you're hiring? Like what do you want to elevate that service? Then I would be an option for you.
So really, first you got to think strategically about what are you trying to accomplish.
Correct.
With your rental,
correct.
With your renter population.
Right. And then
do you even look at it like it's a different population or not?
Yeah. They are. I mean,
so do you think it's better to look at them like they're a different population and offer tailored needs, tailored assistance, or do you think it's better to offer like basically everybody gets kind of the same assistance?
I think there's probably different tiers for different levels of employees, but I think
there's executive and like junior.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, I don't think there's a blanket policy for all renters. I don't believe that, but I do believe that the services that have been offered or that are offered right now, I think needs to change. And when you're looking at numbers, that's just not myself, touting the 16 or 60, 70% renters, when you have several people on here as well that kind of second that or third that of it's 70-75% renters. I think there's a little bit of time for change to handle those employees, and that's what I'm out to change.
It's so interesting. It's so interesting you say that, because I was talking to Felicia over at BNSF this morning.
She's amazing.
She's amazing. Love Felicia. Known her for years, and I'll get to serve, serving on the board, or adjacent to the board this year.
And the relocation professional of the year for NTRP.
Felicia was?
Yes.
Wow. Dang, Felicia, she didn't tell me that when she like introduced herself. She didn't lead with like,
she's cool like that.
She is cool. She said, she's big into DE&I, and she's like, from a diversity, equity, and inclusion standpoint, we're leaving behind our renter population. We're treating them like second-class employees.
That's the drum I beat.
So what type of assistance should they offer? Somebody comes to you and says, Aaron, you've inspired me. So I'm rewriting my policy. How should I write it? What should I give them?
I think one of the big differentiators that you're going to see that Southbound Relocation offers versus somebody else or just renter policies in general is taking that transferee, that employee from A to Z. Like, we're not going to stop until that individual has found a place to live, in certain situations.
But what do they have to do to give them that? Like
we have fee services that we offer that come into play, that we work with corporations directly, but we also work with several RMCs and come up with a plan. But there just has to be, some of the policies that are in place now, just you can't make can't make lemonade out of lemon peel. You're
You
gonna have
gotta
to
use the actual lemon.
You got to use the lemon. You have to. You're gonna have
You can't
to.
say, "Oh, I got these peels left over
Yeah,
from that
yeah,
homeowner we relocated."
Yeah, we're gonna give you $300 or $600, and you
zest.
split it 8 different ways. It just doesn't work.
Lemon zest.
Like,
You might be
yeah.
able to make limoncello from that.
Yeah,
though.
you want to make a drink with it? I mean,
That's
it's not
great.
gonna work.
It's got a lot
you
of
know?
zest. Jonathan Johnson. Shout out to Jonathan Johnson. Saw him this morning as well. Renters need the same level of service and financial backing as the homeowners, and that's coming from a mortgage guy.
My man, because he knows with the rental market or with the housing market the way it is, those renters are going to come back eventually. So when you start taking care of those renters, taking care of those employees, guess what? They're probably going to come around and buy.
Well, and that's a great point too, because here we're going into we're going through kind of some change. We're going through a lot of change right now, and I would hate for relocation benefits in general to just kind of be one of the victims of the change that we're going through, right? Change in, COVID, work from home. People are talking about an economic recession downturn, although I'll be honest with you, here in Dallas, it doesn't really feel that way right now. Knock on wood. But I would hate for relocation benefits to fall by the wayside, because once we forget how to do this thing, putting it all back together again, to your point, is going to be really hard in the future. We can't lose that capability and that functionality within our HR departments.
I think our market, and you're right. I mean, just to second that, I mean, DFW, Texas, I mean, we're still going strong. I don't see that much of a drop off, or I don't see that happening for us. I'm going to stick to what I know best and what I love best and still beating my drum of taking care of those renters and talking to, the individuals that want to take care of their employees, or, the RMCs that have corporations looking for a change. That's also something, the war on talent still is there. People are always looking for talent. Well, part of that talent are going to be renters relocating. What a concept.
I love it. Love it. Hey, we're going to do a quick segment here on the show now that we have some kind of cool gear here and everything here. It looks like my screen kind of blacked out a little bit. I'm still getting the feed. I don't know. Let me know if you can still see us out there. Hit that like button right now. We're going to play a game, Aaron.
Let's go.
You see this board right here?
Are we going to make a beat?
Looks pretty snazzy. We're not going to make a full beat, but I will let you hit one random sound effect. Aaron does not know what these sound effects are, but I'm going to let you hit one random sound effect.
Right here?
Yeah. Knock yourself out. All right. Now, I don't know what that sound effect is, but it's still going, so it's probably one of the longer ones.
That's why.
Let us know.
I don't hear it.
Let us know because we don't have our headphones. Man, this is day one, bro. Day one. This is like the season finale of season 3. All right. We promise to come back bigger and better than ever. We're having a great time.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Let us know if you are still watching this calamity we call a show. Let us know what that sound effect was. We'll play it for you one more time.
One more time.
I'm guessing it's some sort of a clap, laughter, some positive affirmation.
Maybe like a horn.
No, horn would have been quick, I think. So it's like a full song, like an intro or something.
I think I uploaded a song.
Yeah, we're gonna
maybe
definitely
it's
get
like
some labels for that.
Yeah.
Are
we gonna put more songs on here?
Let me ask you this: as a guest of our in studio here, and as a person that kind of understands entertainment, what advice would you give us for how to improve the show here?
Number one, I think you've done a great job, and thank you again for having me.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of fun up here. We definitely have a lot.
We definitely have a lot of fun.
We definitely have a lot of fun.
And we make fun of ourselves too.
Oh no, I got you. Okay, okay. So my only request.
Hit me.
You got to have an intro song.
We got to have an intro song.
You got to have an intro song.
How should it come in? Should it be like, something like classic rock? Should it be like hip hop? Like, what am I?
I'm going to go hard with hip hop.
Yeah.
You got to come strong.
That's me too, buddy.
I know. So
I'm
what song? So what song?
I'm a fan. Like, I don't know. You can go with some of those epic Drake beats, like, like those like trophies, like that trophies beat.
Little Rakim, I ain't no joke.
I ain't no joke.
I ain't no joke.
Anyway, put in the comments if you got a suggestion for an intro song that's hopefully I can license. Put that in there. Otherwise, Adam's looking at me like I don't want to get shut down by
day one,
the Recording Association of America. Otherwise, we'll have to put together. We're going to put together. Adam, what do you think? Can we put together an intro video / song? Adam's giving me the thumbs up. All right. By season 4, my commitment to y'all, season 4 being 2023, because this is going to be the end of our 3rd year here. You were the second to last Love and Relo guest for 2023.
I was one of the first when he started.
You were early days, man. Early days. I had Aaron on. It was amazing. He sent me some like the most amazing barbecue, like in the mail. It was Christmas time. It was Christmas time because I had my family there. It was literally 2 years ago.
Yeah,
because it was Christmas time because my family from New York were visiting, and I got this package,
big old brisket.
Because they were like, "What do you even do on your podcast? It's so silly." And then we like opened up this package of hurtados, and they're like, "Oh, I get it. That's what you do.
That's how I roll.
That's what you do. You do anything for brisket. That's what you do." I'm like, yeah, dude, I get paid in brisket.
Bribe for brisket.
Yeah, bribes for brisket. I'm easy. I'm a simple man. Yeah. Anyway, this has been amazing. The people out there, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate everybody. We had a whole bunch of people watching today. Hit that like button. If you've got any more comments, you can throw them in there. We'll check it out offline. If you got any other suggestions for the show, we are in the new studio here. Shout out again to the producer, Adam Sotelo, behind the camera. And this has been a lot of fun, man.
It's been a lot of fun, my man.
Yeah, thanks for coming out, buddy. We're going to have to do this again, man. We might have to make this a recurring thing.
I'm in.
Maybe even do it on site.
Hurtados. Do it hurtados.
Take care, everybody. We will see you.
Thank you so much.
We will see you tomorrow, right, Adam? Tomorrow. We will see you tomorrow. We have Brittany Bogus coming on from Change Healthcare. They went through a big merger, actually, with United Healthcare. And so Brittany's here local. She's going to come in studio. Might have a little different background tomorrow. Maybe yes, maybe no. I don't know. It's going to be cool. You got to tune in, check it out.